My dudes, what is up? Welcome to my tiny home. Welcome back to my channel. I took a 3 or 4 month break. I have returned to YouTube to criticize YouTube. I have no idea if this video is going to get demonetized. It probably will. This is not my plea to support me on Patreon. I don't have a Patreon. It's holiday season, or it's that time of year where Halloween decor and Christmas trees are simultaneously presented to you when you walk into a Home Depot. I want to say that this is the time of year where you are going to be constantly bombarded with advertising, but let's be honest, we're always bombarded with advertising. That's what this whole video is about. I posted on my stories on Instagram that I was taking a break from YouTube because as a consumer of YouTube, an avid consumer of YouTube, let me tell you, and I'm sure some of you have noticed that the amount of ads that you've been seeing in YouTube videos has been steadily increasing. So I talked about this again on my Instagram stories that I have tried various different ways to block these ads. So I was always using like Ad Blocker, which is a Chrome extension, and that worked perfectly fine for me for years. And then suddenly I started getting this message that the ad blocker that I was using violates YouTube's terms of service and I have to disable the ad blocker in order to watch the video. Then I tried uBlock, I tried Block Origin, I think it's called. I tried a bunch of different ad blockers on both Chrome and Firefox, which is another browser. Then I tried Brave browser. I tried some other one that I can't recollect the name of right now. Right now I'm using Opera. So Opera used to, out of the box without any ads or extensions, block YouTube videos on their own. But basically, every different way that I would try to block ads, it would work for like a couple days and then YouTube would like find me out. And it has affected me, but it hasn't affected everyone in my life. I don't know if it's like an IP targeted, basically it's a beta test that YouTube is rolling out slowly. So maybe it's because I'm a creator of YouTube myself. Maybe it's because they consider me like a power user or something because of my time on the app. So if uBlock on Firefox is working for you, that's great. Please don't leave a comment and tell me to try it because I've tried it. It probably won't work for you this time next year. Maybe if you're watching this video, check the timestamp of when I posted it and let me know how this is affecting you. And as someone who has taken many courses online for Google Analytics, Google Tag Manager, Google Search Console, their apps are changing all the time. And the things that you learned a while ago become completely obsolete, and Google is a very closed box. So all of these SEO experts are making their best guesses and assumptions, a lot of which is backed by really thorough research, because Google won't tell you how their ranking algorithm works. Then they would lose their whole value as a business, right? So they have these sneaky ways of changing things randomly with no notice. So Google is a black box. They're very opaque. They don't want you to know how their systems work. I have a lot of problems with YouTube ads, aside from the fact, and I am going to loop back to this, about the hyper consumerist nature of our culture. I already talked about how I've been trying to block these ads. It's not happening. So now I'm seeing the ads. Okay. Trying to make peace with it. But a lot of content creators who, make hour-long videos, they're going to put some ads somewhere in the middle. So they can choose when they upload a video in their YouTube content creator studio, they can say, I want an ad to play right here. I want an ad to play right here. So it's not interrupting them midstream. There's actually a little warning label that says that they might not actually respect where you want to place the ads, how many ads you want to place. It's like, we're giving you some input, but ultimately we're going to do what we want to do. So the same thing happens on the consumer end when you are watching advertisements. Another ad that I constantly get is for this streaming service called Gaia. Like, oh my God, guys, they make documentaries about how water is conscious and sentient. Whatever, bro. You do you. I don't really care. But I'm not going to subscribe to Gaia. Not tomorrow, not next year, not never. I'm not interested. I have blocked Gaia ads about 1,000,000 different times. Okay, so here's the proof that I'm still always seeing ads for this. It's always some like weird aliens built the pyramids. So this is what I always do. You see this little info icon, my ad center. So I go there and I click block ad. You got it. You should see fewer ads about this topic soon. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to block the ad. You shouldn't see this ad again from Google, but you may see other ads from this advertiser. Why am I seeing this ad? Learn how personalization works. So I'm going to go here. Personalized ads on Google. Okay, so if I want to like manage topics and brands, I'm going to go to my ad center, customize ads, topics. Okay, so under brands, you can actually exclude certain brands that you don't want to see anymore, or topics that I saw before. This is interesting. Dairy and non-dairy alternatives. I feel like people would be interested in either one or the other, and probably not both. So I use this negative icon to say fewer like this. But fewer doesn't mean none, right? So it won't exclude it. It'll just show you a little bit less. And then I also want to show you guys this sensitive tab where you can limit these. So this one is very interesting. I get so many ads for dating apps, but I'm married. And Google should know that I'm married. So you can block the ad, sort of. You see, again, they're explicitly saying you shouldn't see it when you're signed in. I am really concerned about when I showed you the sensitive tab and some of those, categories of things that you want to block. Let's say, for example, if you were an alcoholic that is now in your journey of sobriety and you don't want to be influenced by ads for alcohol, you really don't want to be exposed to that unintentionally. And if you go through, let's say you get an ad for like, I don't know, Smirnoff vodka, and you block that ad, is Google going to respect that? Or are they going to keep showing you the same? If you have a gambling addiction and YouTube keeps showing you ads for some online gambling website, some of these things I forget because in my country, you can't advertise like pharmaceutical drugs. You can't advertise like gambling sites. But in America, they have much more lax advertising laws and you can advertise pretty much anything you want, right? So obviously this is annoying for me as a consumer. But think about if you are Gaia, okay? If you are the CEO or the CFO and you are deciding how much you want to allocate your budget towards marketing, let's say per month or per year. So Gaia is giving Google this money that they are wasting on a user or a potential customer who has specifically stated that they have no interest in becoming a customer, right? So if you think we use this word in marketing called a funnel. So someone's like, at first, let's say it's the first time you've ever heard of a new skincare brand. You saw an ad once on TikTok or Instagram, but you scrolled past it, and if someone asked you tomorrow, what was the name of that skincare brand, you forget about it. So now they're going to show you the ad again and again and again and again until the next time you see it, you're like, oh yeah, that brand. I remember them by name. I remember their logo. I remember their aesthetic. Now you're building some brand recognition. But let's say you're just not in the market for skincare products right now. Maybe that's socks are a good example because most people buy socks like once a year. So you saw the ad in the summer, but you're not really interested in buying socks right now. And then December comes around and you're like, oh, I remember that brand that was being advertised to me that sells socks. I should go check out their website. So now you're a little further in the funnel because you showed intent to purchase a product. Maybe you put the product in your cart, but you haven't checked out yet. Now you're even further down the funnel. So you have fully exited the funnel once you make a purchase. And then maybe you'll be a repeat customer and you'll come back, right? So I started at the beginning of the funnel and I told Gaia, not interested, no thanks, not going to happen. And I'm not going to change our mind about that, okay? That is a detriment to the advertiser because they're wasting a portion of their ad budget in order to actually be successful in Google ads or Facebook ads. You have to spend a ridiculous amount of money consistently for a long period of time. But on top of that, the fact that Google and Meta, from my experience, abuses that money that they're receiving. And, Facebook especially, they give you a lot of like targeting to optimize who is going to see your ad. This was the whole like Cambridge Analytica disaster where you can target people by certain demographics, their age, their gender, if they're college educated or not, if they're married or not. And what's also really scary about this too, I know a lot of people are scared about how much the big tech Silicon Valley corporations know about them. A lot of people think that Google knows everything about you. So I would definitely recommend you check your ad settings, all your preferences, and see how much of this data is actually accurate. I check on this periodically, I would say at least once a year, but they get a lot of things wrong. So they have said that I was single when I was not. They have said that I was married when I was not. They said that I have a degree, that I'm university educated, which by the way, I'm not. They said that I'm a small business owner when I was, but that my business was like 50 to 100 people, which it never was. I know how to speak German, French, which I do not. So all of their assumptions that they made about me were wrong. So that's what I'm more concerned about with this like creeping influence that the big tech companies have over our lives, that we think that they're omniscient and they know everything. What's actually much more scary, Minority Report style, is that they think they know so much about us, but they're actually very wrong. And what are they willing to do with that information, and how are they willing to manipulate us? All of these apps and services and websites that we use make shopping so easy now. You just tap a button. Even if you're in a store, you just tap your phone on something, like the least amount of resistance possible. If you don't have to type in your credit card number, if you don't have to enter your PIN on a PIN pad, just like when we do with web design, the least amount of clicks that you need, the least amount of friction to get that product in your hands, the better. And all of these apps, especially Amazon, is just getting better and better at reducing that friction at all possible costs, even if the cost is detrimental to your mental health, detrimental to the health of the environment. So even though we are armed with knowledge, we know that these apps are designed in a certain way to be addictive. We know that if you feel lonely and you're constantly comparing yourself to others and you feel inadequate, you feel a lack of confidence, and so you're buying things, it doesn't solve the root of the problem, right? We know that fast fashion is so detrimental to the environment. We know that we are dumping our waste on third world countries and having them deal with our excessive consumption habits. We know that our oceans are full of plastic crap. We know this. And yet, the numbers continue to increase. We spend more and more every year. Consumer debt continues to go up year after year. The culture is not changing at all, right? How do we solve that? I really don't know. I do my best to try to preach about this as much and as often as I possibly can, not just on YouTube, but in real face-to-face interactions that I have with my friends and my family. I try very, very hard not to be preachy about it, not to ever cast judgment on anyone for what they choose to spend money on. Just touch on it a little bit here and there so that you don't become overwhelming or, unbearable, because nobody wants to have a conversation with someone who they feel is, not meeting them where they're at. And then also challenge your own habits. Notice your own patterns and try to be more mindful of them. We have to get to the root of the issue here and what we actually have control over, what you can actually exercise control over. It's what's coming in. This also applies to buying gifts for people, not just for buying things for yourself. I think it's a great practice to actually talk to the people that you want to buy gifts for. If it's your partner, your sister, your mom, your best friend, whatever it is, just turn down more of those kind of secret gifting things if you don't want to participate in it. Just decline. No one's gonna judge you. No one's gonna think less of you because you don't want to participate in that. Just say like, hey, I don't really need any gifts right now, so I'm gonna opt out, but I'll come to the dinner or whatever. If it's like a corporate event, you can still participate in your own way. Have conversations with your mom and ask her like, what's something you actually want for Christmas? How can I give you something that you'll value, that you'll treasure? And that way you're giving someone something that you know that they're not going to return or re-gift or donate or shove in the back of a drawer somewhere and never look at. I at least encourage you to start having the conversations. And one way that you can initiate that conversation is to share this video with a friend or a family member who maybe you're a little apprehensive to bring these things up yourself. Let me start the conversation and then you guys can take it from there. I would love to hear from you guys. Leave a comment down below. That, impulsive shopping, how do you suppress those urges and shop a little more consciously? That is all for now, folks. Take it easy.